All right, we are live inside of the American Contractor Network group. So I'm pulling everything up right now. As always, there's a little bit of a delay. But as you can see, I'm not alone. Today, I have my good friend, Joe Mikitish, here from Do Work University, which, by the way, you guys need to know something. He does focus on sales conversations, but the guy's like a marketing genius. Like, he walks in, he's got his orange shirt, he's got his orange Monster. Show him your phone. He's got his orange phone and then his water bottle. Orange.
I even have an orange fish on the water bottle.
There you go. Orange fish on the water bottle. So there's something to be said for branding as well. And I've started the thing as well. So I've got this shirt on, but you can't see the other shirt.
There you go.
I got the other shirt.
Nice.
We'll get there. We'll
Yeah.
get to your level.
Brand it up.
But yeah, branding is super important. But this conversation today is not about branding. This conversation today is about sales. And we call it secrets because let's just be real. We all love secrets. But we're going to pop that bubble relatively quickly in that there are no secrets when it comes to sales. And Joe is actually going to help you. He's going to answer some questions when it comes to selling, especially when it comes to contractors. But really more than anything, we want to give you some additional tools, some additional skill sets that you can deploy, whether you're a landscaper, a roofer, a remodeler, a builder, an electrician. It doesn't matter. The sales process is the same across the board. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start here. Actually, I want to give a couple of introduction questions to Joe so you can learn more about him and why he is the sales expert here inside of the American Contractor Network. Joe, how long have you been doing sales training?
Sales training, where I've been training people, about 15 years now.
15 years. When you were a salesman,
Yep.
How much did you sell? Do you have a round number?
Yeah, so the biggest deal I ever sold was almost $50 million when I was in Houston. I worked for a company. We did contracting for oil and gas companies, and I sold almost $50 million deal. That was my biggest deal ever. The commission check was quite nice, and I bought a very fast car with it. So.
There you go, $50 million deal, and that's his biggest deal. That's not. I'm pretty sure he sold over $100 million. So
well over. Yeah.
So think about that when you have some questions. So there's a few of you that are live right now. If you're live, go ahead and type in #live. If you have any particular questions, I have some questions that came from some previous conversations. But if you have any questions about sales, anything that has to do with sales, go ahead and drop them in the comments section, and we'll get to them. We'll read through them and make sure that we answer those for you. So you've been in the sales world for, what would you say, 20, 25 years?
Yeah, almost 25 years now.
25 years of experience inside of the sales world, and you also have sold 9 figures, which I don't know very many people that fall into that category. I'm just lucky enough because, well, he happens to live pretty close to me, and we're friends, so we're able to do this kind of stuff. Tell them really quickly about Do Work University. What is Do Work University?
Yeah, so Do Work University, we're really focused on business owners, small business owners, usually under $10 million. A lot of startups, people who are running side hustles, want to turn that into their full-time hustle, kind of thing. Those are our people. So we originally started Do Work University. Obviously, the name Do Work, right, is a lot of people want to grow their business, but they don't know how. So this is more about the right work to do in order to grow your business. So we teach you from branding, marketing, all the way up to how to sell. So usually we start with branding. We start with building your brand, get your logo right, what you're actually selling, who you're selling to, getting that down, and then going into how to market that take that to the market, and then really increasing your sales. So if you're getting prospects coming in and they're like, hey, I want to do business with you, what's your close ratio? And usually when people start with us, their close ratio is 10 to 20%. And within 6 months, they're closing 70, 80% with the same number of prospects. So think about that. Same amount of work, closing 3-4 times the amount of business.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure every single one of you, if I asked, would you like to have an 80% close rate? You would all say, yes, please. Right? So that's one of the reasons that Joe's here. So it's kind of funny. His course, his program is called Do Work University. And that's one of our core values, not university part, but do the work, right?
Yeah.
So it's super important. Again, we're really aligned here. At the end of this conversation, Joel will drop some information as far as, hey, if you want some more training specific when it comes to sales, he'll be able to share that with you. But we want to really dive into the conversation again. What does it mean? What does sales mean specifically to the contractors in the contracting space? So, Joe, in your experience, 25 years of experience, what would you say the biggest struggle is that contractors have when it comes to sales?
The biggest struggle is they chase new a lot, right? So they're chasing down new relationships, new leads, new prospects. They're not working the existing relationships they have. So I'm a firm believer that almost all of you, that I deal with every single day, everything you need is already in your phone. Either they're already in there or they're one step away. So really, it's the focus is usually on marketing. So and this is actually a mistake, is you go buy ads, you build a fancy website, you pay somebody to do SEO for you, Facebook ads, Google ads, on and on and on, and you're spending a bunch of your money on marketing. And the reality is until you're hitting about 2 million, 3 million in revenue, most of your budget, if not all of it, should be spent on referral marketing.
So I'm going to just recap that whole thing. Quit wasting your money.
Yeah.
We're on Facebook right now, just because, well, you're all on Facebook. So at least for now, that's where we're having this. But quit wasting your money, right? I will tell you, when I first started, it was the same thing. I was like, oh, I need more leads. I need more sales. So let me just go ahead and pay old Mark Zuckerberg some money. How many of you guys have tried that and failed? Well, I know I did, right? But the truth is there is a much simpler way of doing it and a much more efficient way of doing it. So if you picked up your phone, so let's continue down that conversation. Brand new or starting up or under, let's just say, $1 million in sales. What's the first thing that they should do to increase their sales?
I would make a list of the people who have referred you business in the past and call them and ask for more of the same, right? So there's this concept of a power team, which some of you know who I am, and the concept of the power team, which is people who are in the trades or contractors. You're all in the same power team, and you're going to naturally refer business to each other. Then there's the next level, which is deeper to that, which is power base. Power base are people who know and like you and trust you enough to give you a referral. So you should make a list of everybody who's in your power base already, and call those people up on a regular basis, at least once a week. Have a conversation with them, go to coffee, build relationships with them. So I'll tell you about my very first business. I didn't know what I was doing. Started a business. I was 19. I was like, I hate working for corporations. I'm going to do a side hustle. And a guy taught me this idea of the power base. And I grew that business to $4 million in 18 months. So how did I do? And I didn't spend a single penny on marketing, not 1 cent. I spent all of my time. Actually, the money I spent was on coffee, which I was going to buy anyway. So I drink a lot of caffeine, but I spent most of my time networking with people. I understood the idea of the power team, that 90% of my referrals, 90% of my referrals are going to come within the team of people. Like if you're a contractor, most of your referrals are going to come from either like people on the real estate side, or they're going to come from people who are other contractors. So why in the heck are you going to lunch with somebody who's a financial planner or a CPA or a business attorney? Because we're all taught that's what we're supposed to do. So mistake number 2 is you're having coffee and lunch and talking to the wrong people. Stay within your power team and then turn those relationships into strong relationships. You can grow a $4 to $5 million business with 20 people who refer you business on a regular basis. I met with one yesterday that's in my power base. She gave me 4 referrals on the spot. So yesterday I got 10 referrals. So if you think about that, multiply that times 5, I get 50 referrals in a week. That's actually my average. So if you get 50 referrals in a week and you're closing 80%, the hell do you need to pay for Facebook ads for? I don't know. I don't know.
You don't.
I wouldn't do it.
You don't. So I want to, while he's talking and I'm asking more questions, I want to hear from you guys. So drop in the comments how many, inside of your phone right now, how many other contractors or real estate agents do you have in your phone? And no, I don't expect you to scroll through all of them, but give me a rough number. You have 10, you have 20, you have 50, you have 100. How many other contractors or real estate agents do you have in your phone right now? So go ahead and drop that in the comments. So that was a great way to end that, is like, why the hell would you need to pay? Like, you don't need to pay for anything else, right?
No.
And so think about this. What Joe didn't tell you is he literally got kicked out of a coffee shop. I say he got kicked out. But basically, Joe started there. How long were you going there? A couple of years?
Yeah, like 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years he was going to this particular coffee shop regularly. Like how many days a week were you there?
Every day.
Every day. So like Monday through Friday, every day he was there, sometimes Saturday, twice on Sunday. But he was there every day. He wasn't just there to drink coffee and admire the scenery. He was there for a very specific purpose. You were meeting with people. Now, how often were you meeting with people?
So I was in there for 2 hours a day having coffee, usually in groups of at least 2 or 3 people. So I'd have meetings with between 5 and 6 people. But because I made that coffee shop my home base, everybody who walked in the door had met me before, right? So I'll give you an example why this works is if you make a home-based coffee shop, don't have coffee at anywhere, right? You just find one coffee shop and always go there. And always wear a name badge, always, never go anywhere without it. And go to the same place. People will start recognizing you there, and you'll have meetings with people, and because they enjoy having coffee there, they'll start scheduling their meetings there. Here's how this works great. I'm sitting in a coffee shop, real estate agent walks in, she's having coffee with one of you folks. And what's the likelihood that she's going to walk you over to my table and introduce us? It's super high. So I'll walk into a coffee shop where I regularly go, and I'll get 2 or 3 referrals, introduction referrals, handshake introduction referrals, and meetings scheduled just by having coffee at the same place every day.
Think about that, right? So, and I talk about this, and you guys have heard this, so I'll just reiterate it. It's not necessarily, and Joe mentioned it to Power Team and Power Base, it's not necessarily that, Joe, the electrician, would have people for you to do business with, but it's who Joe knows, right? Which might be another contractor, or it might be a builder, or it might be a remodeler. It might be somebody who you can actually do business with, right? So the game is relationships. That's what's super key. And I just want to kind of recap some of the comments coming in here. So we've got, Joshua's got about 100 subs.
10, actually.
Oh, 10 subs. Oh, I was going to be like, man, 100. Go, boy. So 10. All right, back to reality. So you got 10 subs and 3 real estate agents. Okay. Austin's got about 12 contractors and real estate agents. Chris, about 5 and 25. Cool. So you see the numbers kind of vary a little bit. But let me ask you, how many contractors live in your area? Right? So I'm putting together a list. I'm at like 750 subcontractors here in this area, in the Treasure Valley, in the Boise area, right? 750. And that doesn't include the 150 builders and remodelers, right? Do you think that you could build a multi-million-dollar business building relationships off of 1,000 people?
100%.
Easy. You could do it off of 100 people.
I've done it.
Right. So what we're telling you is it's time to start working, as Mr. Miyagi said, smarter and not harder, right?
Right.
So what would you tell these contractors to do with the real estate agents and contractors that they have in their phone?
Get them to introduce you to other people that are in your power team. So those real estate agents, they know almost all of the trades folks that help them out. I'm actually making a master list. It's kind of funny we're having this conversation. I'm making a master list of every single person that a real estate agent needs in order to do a transaction. And I'm meeting with every real estate agent that's doing above 50 transactions in the Valley. So I've got a meeting with a real estate agent every single day for like the next 3 months. So I'm building that list out, and I'm having them actually fill in their subs who they use for different things. And those folks are going to be the ones that you want to have introductions to. So do the same thing. Who do you want introductions to that regularly refer you business? So make a list of everybody who's referred you business in the last 90 days. I call it a referral tracker. I use a referral tracking tool. Make a list of everybody who's referred you business or made introductions for you in the last 90 days. Then categorize those people by what industry they're in. So if you regularly get business from a certain type of person, you've got 2 or 3 of those, go get more of those people and only ask for those people. So, for example, I get a lot of referrals from real estate agents, a ton, right? So who am I going to go ask for when I'm meeting with somebody is, who's your favorite real estate agent? And that's the question you want to ask is, who's your favorite? Don't say, do you know any real estate agents? If you ask me that question, that's an insane question, because just here in the Valley, I've personally had coffee with 1,100 real estate agents in the last 4 years. 1,100. So which one's my favorite? That drills it down to one of the 1,100. It's way easier, right? Yeah. So if you say I want to know any real estate agent, that's going to make it really hard for me. And when you say anyone or everyone, that means no one, right? So you want to get really specific and say your favorite. Who's your favorite? Kind of, actually, I tell my coaching clients, I'm like, put a rubber band on your wrist. And anytime you say anyone or everyone, snap yourself, because that's a bad habit that we're all in. Say, who's your favorite real estate agent? If you have a sub that a contractor, another contractor type that refers you business on a regular basis, who's your favorite plumber? Who's your favorite garage door person? Who's your favorite painter? Who's your favorite roofer? I do that all the time. Two of my favorite clients are plumbers and garage door people. So when I sit down with a real estate agent, the first thing I ask, who's your favorite painter? Who's your favorite garage door person? And they refer them to me, and I just get business like insane all over the country. I'm flying to San Antonio in a couple weeks, and I've got meetings scheduled every single day with 2-3 real estate agents. Guess what I'm asking? Who's your favorite painter? Who's your favorite garage door repair person? And I'll walk out of there with business, because they're going to introduce me. Guess what? They're going to have coffee with me because the real estate agent told them to, in a way, just by doing the introduction.
Yeah. So again, I just want to kind of recap this. Which, by the way, if you guys have any specific questions based off of what we talked about so far, go ahead and drop them in the chat, and we'll make sure to answer them. What Joe has said is literally a goldmine of information, and if we just cut off the video here and we rewatched it and implemented it, you'd be fine. I'm just going to recap. So number one is you have access to all the people that you need right now, right?
100%.
Because it's a spider web, right? So you start with who you know. So your past clients or people who've referred people to you in the last 90 days. Right? Now you're in the contracting space. Your best referrals at this point will be other contractors, right? So then you start to build referrals based off those contractors. I can tell you that there's some people inside of this group and people that I work with that have built their business over 7 figures in the last year simply because they went out and built relationships with other contractors, right? Because it becomes this super cool spider web. Like even with Joe and I, if somebody says, hey man, what's a good closing argument for this? Or how do I overcome this objection? Or like it's super specific when it comes to sales, guess what? Just refer them over to Joe because that's his expertise, right? And so like I have somebody in my network that by me referring over to him, like I'm adding value, right? So you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna add value to these people, but then you're also gonna be able to add value to their network. Like you become a valuable person. People call me now, people call you because they need what? What do they ask for?
More business.
They need more business, or they need a real estate agent, or they need a whatever.
Right.
Joe's now able to add value to their lives.
Yep.
Like it's the same thing with me now in contractors. Is like, hey, if you need a plumber, an electrician, a whatever, like people reach out to me. Cool, like I'll connect them out. So it's not necessarily the fact that I'm doing business with that person, but I'm creating that connection, and so now I'm valuable in that person's eyes. So now when I come back around and we have coffee or we have a conversation or a follow up or something, like I can say, hey, do you know any whatever, plumbers, painters?
Right.
What are they going to do? Oh, let me connect you with them.
Totally. Yeah. And it's interesting because I get 20 or so texts a day. People going, hey, I need a painter, I need a plumber, I need an electrician. Real estate agent this morning, water in a crawl space. She needs somebody who can clean that out of there. She's like, hey, I need somebody that does this. And I just did 2 introductions, and the person's out there already. Fans and pumps and whatever the heck they do to clean that out of there. So I've got a list of people in my phone, and you should too, of people who have done great work, and you're ready and willing to hand that relationship to somebody else too.
Yeah, that's important. So let me ask you guys again, a little more interaction. Inside of the chat, I want you to answer this question. What are you currently doing to generate leads inside of your business? What are you currently doing to generate leads inside of your business, right? Some of you guys are having conversations. Some of you guys are using ads. Some of you guys are sitting staring at the wall and praying to, baby Jesus. Like, I don't know what it is. So just write it down below. What are you currently doing to generate leads? And as we're waiting for these responses to come in, I want to ask you, Joe, like when you first started in sales, what did they preach to you was the most important thing when it came to sales?
Cold calls. That's the company I went to work for when I started in sales was all about cold calls. And I did it for about a week, and I was like, the heck with this. This sucks, And so I went through the company I work for had clients already, and they didn't have very many, maybe 100. And so I reached out to those clients and asked how I could help them. And then, of course, they asked how they could help me. And I said, hey, I'm looking for another business owner who could use our help. And I ended up with, in the first week, I called probably 20 of those clients, got a hold of them and had conversations. I ended up with about 35 referrals. And I haven't looked back. I haven't done, I was actually in a Grant Cardone training, and it was all about cold calls, cold calls, cold calls. He's a big cold call guy. And it was funny because everybody's like, how many cold calls do you make in a week? I'm like, none. I haven't made a single cold call in 2 decades. I don't even know how to do it now. It's not a skill I have. It's not a skill I have. If you want to learn how to do cold calls, I'm not your guy. But the reality is what it led to was relationship sales, which has been build me business after business. I'm 10 businesses into it, 6 exits. Built 2 businesses to 8 figures. All on referrals. I've tried other stuff. I've spent money on marketing to see if it works. And some of you guys probably know this, dropping door hangers. I actually have a guy who does dryer vent cleaning is one of my clients. And he was doing door hangers, yard signs. He had like the whole bit. He's spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month on this stuff. And I just told him to call like 10 people on his phone, and he hasn't pulled a door hanger out or a yard sign since. 6 months later, not one time has he done any of that stuff.
So, I remember at the beginning we told you we were going to tell you the secrets. Like, here's the secrets, right? So the secret is it's your network. That is your secret. And so the saying goes, like, your network is your net worth. This is driving home that fact, right? So now listen. We're kicking you in the balls, so just get used to it. But understand we're doing it with love in that we want you to work smarter, not harder. We want you to build a business that's based off of the relationships that you build, not necessarily having to go find somebody new, right? Cold call somebody, if you will. So I'm going to go through some of your responses here. So Austin says, relying on my network of contractors and friends to put my name out there. Okay,
great.
Okay. Cassidy, Google ad, mailers, Instagram, Facebook, leads from other contractors. All right. Tyler, we've got door knocking, cold calling, networking with other subs that do work for contractors that I want to connect with. Josh has Facebook and references from customers, although he did say that 90% of our work comes from previous customers. So, Chris, Facebook, referrals from contractors and customers. So you guys already have the answer in front of you, but it's so simple that it's hard to look, right? You want to chase this shiny object. If you go on Facebook, like right now, if I go on Facebook, all I see is leads. All I see is more customers. All I see is, hey, we won't get you leads. We'll actually get you calls. And like, it's all marketing.
Right.
Which is cool, right? If you've got, a boatload of cash that you want to spend, or if you want a bike that you want to buy for Mark Zuckerberg, whatever. But really, you don't need to do this, right? What you need to do is continue to build the relationships. The relationships are what matters. So,
and it's with a strategy, right? So building those relationships, you can do it accidentally. I'm getting referrals from existing customers. I'm getting referrals from real estate agents. It could be accidental. Just have coffee and hope and pray that they give it to me. But there's a strategy to it, right? When you're talking, Josh was talking about 90% of his work comes from previous customers. Calling your previous customers and doing one thing and thanking them for the business will double the number of referrals you get from your existing customers. If you want to increase that by, even higher, send them a thank you card in the mail. Don't put a $5 gift card in there to Starbucks or something lame like that. Just send them a thank you card. Thank you so much for the business. Nobody does that. If you send them a thank you card in the mail right after the job is done, thanking them for the business, and then a week after that, you call them and you say, hey, I just want to thank you so much for the business. It means so much to me that you would trust me with whatever the project was that you did for them. They will refer you at a rate that you've never seen before. And I've helped contractors who start like at zero, idea on a piece of paper, terrified to spend $50 on a bucket and a mop, kind of thing. Actually, I had a guy who does window cleaning, right? He's scared to buy the equipment to start up the business. He's terrified. It's $250. It's total money to start up that business. And he already had a truck, but he didn't have any of the other tools. And I talked him into buying the $250 thing. A year later, he sold that business for $85,000 in cash. It's not bad. not bad for a window cleaning business. Sold it for $85,000 and took that business and started another one. The equipment for the new business he started up was, $20,000-$30,000. So terrified at that level. But the only strategy we implemented was thank you cards and calling and thanking his customers. And in 1 year, from terrified to spend $250 on, the window cleaning equipment to selling the business for almost $100,000 a year later. 1 year later, the business was valued at that. That's 3x profit. That's amazing in a startup business. And so, and all he did was that strategy. Super easy. How much did it cost him? Not much. I hooked him up with a send out card account. $97 a month for unlimited cards. And then, he called 2 or 3 customers a day. That's it. And then they just started referring him business and posting about his business on Facebook and, telling all their friends on Nextdoor to hire him. And boom, it just went nuts.
Like, I don't know what else you guys want to hear at this point, but like the sales process itself, I mean, we can get into the nitty gritty and I'll ask Joe. He's got a 5-question close, which is kind of cool. I'll ask him about it here briefly, but I just want you to know that you don't have a lead problem. You have a problem with picking up the phone. Like, that's your problem. Or having coffee with someone.
That's everybody's problem.
Right? So it's a different problem. So you don't have a lead problem. You have a problem with, finding the time. Let me put in the camera here. Finding the time to have a conversation with someone. Right? And again, they're not going to care about you until you show them how much you care.
100%. Yeah, and here's the secret numbers, right? So if you call 5 people a day, 2 of your past customers, 2 of your people in your power base that have referred you business in the past, and then 1 person that you get referred to, you do that every single day and get referrals from those people, you'll increase the number, and you do it with a strategy of increasing the size of your network. You're going to massively grow your business. Everybody I teach that to, just 5 people, 2 past customers, and if you don't have enough customers, kind of build in the other ones. Build in power team members who are not, part of your power base. So other contractors that you've maybe done one job with, call them up, thank them for doing a great job, ask how you can be a service to them, and then they'll naturally ask you how they can help you. And what you want to do with them is to be very specific and say, I'm looking for introductions to this type of person. That could be, let's just say, I'm looking for introductions to a tile person, somebody who does tile work. And they'll introduce you to those people, and you grow your network. You add them in your phone, name, business name, phone number, email. You put them in your phone. You call that person. You build a relationship with them. You can build a 7-figure business fast doing that. That's the magic number. 5 people a day. People are like, oh, I got to spend all this time doing other stuff. Forget it. Don't sit there on Facebook groups and do Facebook ads and mess around with your website or do blogging. Call 5 people a day. That's a 7-figure idea right there. That's all you need to grow $1 million business. Just call 5 people. If you call 5 people a day, you're doing way more than anyone else I know.
So let me recap that. You said 5 people a day, 2 past.
Yep, 2 past customers.
Okay, 2 that are what?
Past referral partners, people who've referred you before.
And then 1 new.
Yep, 1 person that gets referred to you. Hopefully you get more referrals than that. If I call 5 people a day, I usually end up between 5 to 10 referrals just out of those calls. So, what the rest of my day is calling those people. So, I had to hire 2 inside sales reps last week to keep up with the referrals we get. Just the referrals.
How many of you guys would like to have that problem? Right? We all would. So, I just want to transition quickly. Again, we're not going to make these super long, but we're definitely going to pack a punch like we have during this one. Joe, talk about like the closing process itself. So they've got the leads, they're having the conversations, they're going to go out and they're going to talk to these potential clients or customers of theirs. Right. What if they don't have a ton of experience, or their close rate's really bad, or like they're really nervous, they don't know what to say? Like, what's a very easy framework for them to follow?
Yeah, so the primary thing that you want to find out from the customer is find out what's called their dominant buying motive, right? So what reason do they want whatever it is? Right. So if you're out there and you're like, you want to build they want to build a new outdoor kitchen. Why? Why do you want to build an outdoor kitchen? What's wrong with the one you got? You got a barbecue grill over there, isn't that good enough? They're gonna go, well, I want to host these parties. Why do you want to host these parties? And they're gonna say, well, I want to host these parties because I want to build relationships with my neighbors so that we can have a great neighborhood. Why is that important to you? and you dive down into the reason why it's so important. So when you give them the proposal, let's just say the outdoor kitchen's $100 grand. I don't know what they cost, but $100,000. Let's just say. So it's $100,000, and they're going to go 100 grand, and you're going to go. But you told me the reason that you wanted this outdoor kitchen was to have these socials with all your neighbors, so you could have a great relationship with your neighbors, and on and on and on. And you write down everything that they told you, all the reasons why they said they wanted that outdoor kitchen, and you just tell them, hold on, let me go back to our conversation. You told me the reason you wanted this outdoor kitchen was this way, this way, and this way. And then the reason I built it the way that I did, the proposal, is to give you that experience. If I do it for $50,000, you won't have that experience that you want. Right? And then they're going to go, well, it's not my budget. Or they're going to say, okay, let's go. But because I guarantee you the other people that are selling them are not finding out why in the heck they want an outdoor kitchen. They just come in there and they go, I want an outdoor kitchen. They go, cool, well, this here, this there, and we're going to write you a proposal and send it to them. They never find out why they want it. I taught this to a guy who does home automation, right? And he's got salespeople. All of them are in my sales training. He started out just the owner, right? And I'm like, when you go in and you sell somebody a full audio visual theater system in their house, you find out why they want the thing. He's like, no, they just tell me what TV they want and what stereo equipment, and I just install it. And I'm like, well, I want you to start asking people why they want it. And his ticket value of his sales went up 40% because when he went in there and it was the same customers, he's selling them 40% more product because he's finding out why they want the stuff in the first place. So then he gets into a collaborative thing with them. He's like, oh, you want to have this experience because you want to watch football with your friends. Well, we need to make this experience like where they don't want to watch football anywhere else. And so they end up doing that. They collaborate on it. They come up to he comes in with the bid and they go, yeah, I'm going to get all that stuff we talked about. Let's go. Right. Where before he was just an order taker. Now he's a collaborative, he's in a collaboration with the customer. And so write that down. Dominant buying motive. Asterisk, star that, write on a sticky note, put it on your mirror in your bathroom. Every day when you talk to a prospect, your whole purpose is to find out why in the heck they want to buy that thing, whatever it is. I want new tile in my kitchen. What's wrong with the tile you got now? And they're going to go, oh, well, I want this, this, and this because I want it to look like this. Why is that important to you? So there's two questions I always ask people. Why is that important to you? What's wrong with what you got now?
Powerful. So it brings up a couple of really interesting points, right? Number one is we're all buyers. Like we're all looking for an excuse to buy. Don't believe me? Like literally, how much time do you spend on Amazon or Home Depot or like wherever? You're always looking for an excuse to buy, right? We just haven't been sold enough. But really, what selling is identifying your problem, right? And then a solution for the problem. And so what Joe's talking about, and you probably heard the 5 levels of why, right? It's like you're constantly asking why till you get to the root cause. Like this is why it's so important to them, right? And so if you can get clear on why they want what they want, a new deck, a new roof, an ADU, like whatever it is, what's the likelihood of you being able to propose a solution for said problem? Instead of, oh yeah, well here's the cheapest shingle, we could do it for this much.
Right.
Versus like, oh no, this is your forever home? Okay. So I understand that. You want your kids and your grandkids and whatever. So what you need is a product that will be here forever.
100%. Yeah, my dad lives out in the foothills. Place burns to the ground every few years. And, so when he's buying shingles, he doesn't want the cheapest ones. He wants ones that don't catch on fire, right? So the first bid he got, I took a look at it, from somebody, and I was like, I don't know about that. So I sent him to one of my clients who's a professional salesperson. And that person came out there and got up on the roof with him and went through the whole thing. And he was like, okay, this is what it needs to look like. This is why, and what's important to you besides the not burning down. You want a certain aesthetic. And it ended up being the bid was, I think, 8 or 9 times more than the other guy's bid. Guess who he went with? The guy who was 8 or 9 times more all day.
It tells you something, right? So you guys that think that you have to compete on price, it's because you don't understand your market. You guys that think that you don't know sales, it's because you don't trust yourself, right? The clues are very simple, right? Success leaves clues. And so you're hearing from a guy who sold over 100 million, who sold multiple businesses, 7 and 8 figures. Like he's literally telling you the simple formula. So I just want to recap real quick a couple things that Joe said. Number one is quit chasing new and spending money, right? Quit chasing the shiny object. Oh, look, this new lead gen, or oh, look, here's a new version of Thumbtack or Angie's List or whoever else. Like, dude, if you're going to give them money, I'll give you my Venmo account. Just send it to me.
Right.
We'll give it to charity. It'll go to good cause instead of giving it, buying somebody's boat. The second thing is power list and power base, right? Simplify that. Who are the people who have done business with you in the past or referred people to you in the past? That's who you need to focus on to continue to build your network of people who could be clients of yours in the future or in the present, right? Mm-hmm. And for you guys as contractors, 2 main areas you need to focus on. Real estate agents, not the one who sells one house every 3 years, the right real estate agents, and then other contractors. But same thing, don't go build relationship with a contractor who's just starting out, right? Go find a guy who's been around, who's been in the game, who knows people, right? The right referral relationships. And then again, you can have an accidental strategy, or you can have a very specific and purposeful strategy. And you just waiting for the referrals to roll in, awesome. That's still an accidental strategy. And congratulations for having that, but eventually that's going to dry up, especially as the markets shift. Mm-hmm. What really is going to set you up for success long-term is the on-purpose strategy, right? The proactive strategy. Who am I building relationships with? How am I building relationships with them? And with your past clients, I love this, right? Phone call and a letter, right? Or a card. Phone call, card, right? Super simple. 2 things. What would happen to your business if you implemented those 2 simple things? And then last piece is, who is it that you're connecting with, right? Every single day, it's 2 past customers or clients, 2 referrals, and 1 new referral. Every single day. How busy would you be? I don't know. Here's the challenge for you. If you were to implement that, where would you be in 90 days, right? So let's see who in this group is committed to doing that and see where you're at in 90 days, right? I want you to come crawling, to Joe and thanking him for what he did for you. And I want you to come crawling to me saying, help me because my business is too much for me right now. That's where I want you guys to be. And then the last piece, dominant buying motive, right? Understanding why your potential client or customer wants to buy in the first place. They don't just want a pool. They don't just want a stereo system. They don't just want an ADU. What's the reason why? The better you can understand why, the more you can craft the solution to that specific problem.
Yeah, and that fits with everything. People are like, I want a new deck on my house. Why? Why do you want a new deck? Well, I want to be able to sit out here when it's 100 degrees outside and be in the shade and barbecue in the shade and have a good time with my family. These are all things. I want a new air conditioning unit. Why do you want a new air conditioning unit? What's wrong with this one? And they're going to say, well, it's not cooling down my upstairs. Well, maybe that's not even the problem, right? Maybe they just need, new ductwork, or they need their ducts cleaned, or they need, whatever that calls a split, thing, whatever. So, I actually had the same problem at my house. My upstairs, 100 degrees in the summer. Couldn't even work up there. It was awful. And so I called up the AC guy. I'm like, dude, this AC unit's not powerful enough. He's like, dude, this thing's the size of a Volkswagen. It can cool this whole house. He's like, there's something else. So you put in a mini split or whatever it was, and boom, 63, 64 degrees upstairs. I'm from Montana. The colder, the better, right?
Likes his nipples hard.
Yeah, I do. And and it went from 100 to like 65, and cost me, a fraction of what a new AC unit would have cost. But the reason, and he came in, asked me why I wanted a new AC unit, went through the whole thing, and I still got the original AC unit out there. Got some work out of it. But guess who I'm going to call whenever there's a problem? In fact, my furnace, when that went out, who did I call? Called that guy who put a new furnace in for me. So build that loyalty with your customers by finding out what their real needs are. So not only is your sales going to massively increase, your close ratio, you're going to be able to sell more to existing customers, and you're going to build loyal customers by selling people the right thing for their needs.
Beautiful, beautiful. Cannot have said any better. So Joe, I want to thank you for making some time today to come and share your knowledge, and I would call them knowledge bombs that you guys have been given. So if you're here live, awesome, congratulations. I would still go back and review this because there's a lot of good information out there. So Joe, if any of these guys want further information, want to learn more about what it is that you do, how you do it, how would they get a hold of you in the program?
Social media is the best way. You can't miss me. Joe Mikitish. My profile picture looks like this. And, I'm wearing the name badge, so if you need to know how to spell my name, It's right there. Jump on to Facebook or LinkedIn. Those are the two best ways. Instagram too, if you really want to. But I'm really active on Facebook. That's where most of my customers are, is on Facebook. Feel free to connect with me. We also have a Facebook group called Do Work Nation, and so you can jump in there. And there's a lot of contractors in there. So if you need to meet with some folks, there's a good spot to do that. And then if you're local here in the Treasure Valley, we actually run network socials. So tomorrow is our lunch social. Shoot me a note on Facebook Messenger. I'll send you an invite. Come down to that. I would say probably 20-30% of the people, 100 people that are going to show up are going to be contractors. Probably 20% are going to be in the real estate space. So in one place, guess what? We color code everybody too. So when you walk in, you can just look at everybody's stickers on their shirts, and you're going to know what they do, and you'll be able to walk right up to them, have a conversation, and build your network super fast doing that. So I'm also doing one in San Antonio next month. So I've got one here, 2 here in Idaho, and then I got 1 in San Antonio, and then we're growing into some other markets. So if you're not in this area, shoot me a note and find out when I'm bringing those socials to your area. Maybe we can do one together. It'd be fun.
There you go. So again, Joe, thanks. But listen, go back, watch this, take notes, and then apply, right? We're not sitting here for some mental masturbation. Oh, that sounded really cool. Oh, this is so awesome, right? And then you go back to swinging a hammer. This is about getting you out of the trucks. It's about building a business that will support the lifestyle that you want. The only way to do that is to take action. There's no time it is. Time to get after it. 3, 2, 1. Off you go.